podcast today, The Parafair, and thanks for joining us. Thanks for taking part of your day and listening to us. And today's topic is stop wasting your time complaining. How many of us know someone who likes to complain, or every now and then we like to complain ourselves? So as usual, we have a story that goes behind our topic today. And here we go. People visited a wise man complaining about the same problems over and over again. One day he decided to tell them a joke, and they all roared with laughter. After a few minutes, he told them the same joke, only a few of them smiled. Then he told them the same joke for the third time, but no one laughed or smiled anymore. The wise man smiled and said, "You can't laugh at the same joke over and over again. So why are you always crying about the same problem over and over again?" How many of us out there are guilty of doing this, of complaining about the same problem over and over again? Found this story and I thought it was something that today I was thinking and reflecting. We're all guilty of this. We're all guilty of complaining about something that may not be right. We may be complaining about this, complaining about our work, complaining about people we live with, the people, the weather, over and over again. This is something that's contagious and something that, you can control. But at sometimes you hear it once and you're like, okay, yeah, it's just like the story. Second time, the third time the person complains, it kind of gets on your nerves a little bit. And so what do you do when someone's constantly complaining? Are you rude with them? Do you tell them to shut up? Do you say, hey, do something about it? It's very hard. It all depends on what kind of, in the pecking order of, relationships what you have with these people. Because a lot of times people want to complain because it makes them feel good. I realize people who complain, they just want to just spew it out and just let it come out and just keep talking about it and talking about it and talking about it. But they really don't want to hear an answer for the situation because it feels good to just sit on the negative and sit on the negative and just talk about it, talk about it. But no one ever wants to really say, hey, you know what? This is how you solve the problem. Because a lot of times people like attention when things are going bad. I hate to say that to you, but some people love it when they are the center of negative attention. When things are going right and things are going good, they don't really worry about that. But when things are bad, they want all the attention from everyone. They want all the attention from everyone. And complaining, like, and they said the complaining, and we see it all the time at our jobs. You see the people that when we work, anywhere you work, you always have that one person at your job or multiple people who complain about this and complain about that. And the boss is always trying to please them. But then you go to work and you just do what you have to do. And you seem like you don't really get a lot of attention. And you have to remember how when we were first born, all the little babies at one time were put into a nursery in a hospital. And the one who got the most attention was the one who screamed the loudest and screamed the most frequently. And so they got the nurses' attention. They got the nurses to hold them. They got extra milk. They got extra this, extra attention. And I realized just how some people are in this world. They're constantly looking for attention. They're constantly looking for to complain about things. But they really don't want to do anything about it. They just want to sit around and complain. But they don't really want to take any steps about it. Just recently, someone came to our job site and said, okay, it was an inspector or something. They said, okay, I want this done. I want that done. This is not right. This is not right. And if you don't do this, blah, 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 we're going to have to go to the next level. So as a team, we got together and we had a plan of action and we figured out we figured out the solution. We figured out the solution, how to fix it and how to do things. And the person said, we're going to come back on this day and we're going to check to make sure this is right, this is right, this is right. And so the day came and everyone moved their schedules around and everyone had to, make accommodations to make sure that whatever we were fixing was done. So we fixed it. We fixed everything. My wife asked me today over dinner, She said, did the person ever come back? And I go, no, they never came back. She goes, what do you mean? She says, but they said they were going to come back on that Tuesday. I said, yeah, I haven't even heard from them. But before, they were calling me middle of the day, calling me at night saying, oh, you have this infraction. You need to fix this. You need to fix that. And now it's fixed. And they didn't even call and say, hey, everything's fine. And a lot of times we have to deal with that. We have to deal with that when people complain and complain and complain. It gets it's very annoying because that's all they want to do is complain about things. They actually don't want to fix things. They just want to complain how bad things are because people feel bad for them. People feel sorry for them. I don't. I just look at someone who's just going to sit around and complain about everything in the world because it's people like to complain. They think that they have the right to complain. That's their opinion. And I remember someone telling me a long time ago, some people are never going to be happy. Some people are never going to be happy because they always want to cry or just give you a bunch of problems that you have to deal with. They don't want to solve them. They just want to tell you about the problem. You know, and I listened to this person and they said when they have to hire employees, they're not looking for people who can tell them that the building is on fire. Yeah, we know that. They want to hire people that can tell you, oh, the building's on fire. I've called the fire department. I got everyone out safe. I secured this floor. I did this. I did that. These are the next steps we're going to take tomorrow to make sure that, you know, we're up and running and everything's fine. Those are the people that most employers want to have. Anybody can report that there's a fire. Anybody can tell me that there's someone crying about such and such as if they're stuck. How are you going to get them out? Well, they say, well, that's where you get to pay. You know, the boss can figure that out. I just want to tell you about the problem. I don't want to do anything about it. And people who are like that, I really don't. People who like to sit around and talk about how bad things are, I really try to push myself away from those people. I really try to push myself away from those people because all they want is someone to listen to their problem. That's all they want is to listen to their problem. And today I was scrolling on the internet and they had this politician. They had this politician on there and she said she's proud. She's proud of the job that she had before she was a politician. She's proud to have that job. And she was a bartender. And I was sitting there, I was like, you know, I bartended before. And it's an interesting job. It's a very interesting job because you're going to, you know, the people that come in there, for the most part, you know, I can imagine the reason why she enjoyed that job is she was just listening to people's problems. Day in and day out, people would come in, give her money, and she would just listen. Maybe she would give some advice, and she was just a good listener. She was a good listener to people's problems. And that's what people want when they come in and they want to talk, is they want you to listen to their problem. Will they do something different? I doubt it. But they like going over and over again. They like going over and over again and talking about the same thing day after day, complaining. We all have these people on our jobs that, you know, have worked there 10, 15, 20 years and still complaining. They come in day one complaining. Year 15, they're still complaining. But they're not doing anything about it. They're not getting a new job. They're not getting promoted. And it's always somebody else's fault. It's never their fault. Well, I would have got promoted if this and this. Well, I would have got a new job, but this happened and that happened. But people who want to complain, they don't, you know, I heard this before. People who want to complain, they usually remain where they are. They never go anywhere because they're so busy wasting time complaining about a situation that they don't want to change. They never want to change. It's easy to sit there and complain about this and this, Sally, Harry, Larry, whoever. Do something about it. Come up with 3 or 4 different options to get yourself out of that situation. And as I listen to people, I love being around people who are problem solvers, who embrace problems because they have solutions down the road. And I'm trying to find myself as I spend more time of solving problems is if you don't have a solution for me, it could be the craziest solution whatsoever. I'm going to listen to it, but I'm not going to listen to you sit there and complain to me about how bad things are because I know, you know, things are rough. Things are really rough. But sitting there wasting time, complaining about this, complaining about that, it's not going to make it any better. And I can remember when I was, I was a teenager and a little bit younger. One of the best things my father did for me was he always took me fishing. He took me fishing every Saturday that, unless it was in too cold fish. It just depends. Every Saturday, I knew we went fishing, and there were sometimes we caught a lot of fish, and then sometimes you caught just enough. But there's sometimes we didn't catch anything. And I think sometimes when we were catching a lot of fish, no one was ever complaining. But there's some days that we really didn't catch that much, and you're out on a boat and you see other boats, other places, and you look and you say, hey, why don't we move over there? Well, hey, why don't we go see what they're doing over there? My dad said, we're going to, we have everything we need right here. It's just a matter of time. You got to be patient. He said, these are the things that said, okay, check your bait. Make sure you have your baits on there. Make sure the bait's at the right level. Make sure, if it's not, make sure you move your bait. Look at the water. Is the water moving? They were here last week. You think they moved again? Well, they might have. Do what you think, come up with some option. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing over there. Take care of what you need to take care of. And I say that a lot, and it doesn't make sense to a lot of people. Take care of what you can take care of. Stop complaining about what everybody else had. I wish I had this. I wish I had that. Focus on what you have right now and make it the best. Because sitting there crying and whining about what you don't have, you're just wasting time, wasting energy. And I told myself as I looked at certain things today, and I said, why are you wasting time? People are out there creating stuff, doing stuff. So you're just sitting here wasting time. I said, that's not going to accomplish anything. So every now and then I got to kick myself in the pants to get myself going, because wasting time, we only have so much of it. I'd rather be on the positive side than the negative side, because I said, I got new content to put out there today. I said, what I put out there yesterday, it's great, but I got new stuff to put out there. I can complain about, oh, I didn't have time today. I didn't have this and that. Nobody wants to hear about that. I don't want to hear about it. I want to hear about the times, oh, I solved that problem. I solved this problem. And it's okay to solve problems. It's okay to be a problem solution-oriented person. Not a know-it-all, but just giving a person an option. And the thing is, I notice I have a few friends, and they always want like today, someone sent me a text complaining about something that's going on at work. And I had to tell them, I said, you know what? When you complain about work, it kind of puts me in a bad mood. And then they text me back, oh, really? Yeah, because, it doesn't put me in the right frame of mind. If you'd have told me the problem and said, okay, this is what we do. What do we have in place to make sure it doesn't happen to us? That'll make me feel better. But to complain about this and complain about that, it's just like a big old weight that you just want to cut away from you. Give me some solution. And as you go out to work this week, and as you go, remind yourself as you go and talk to your boss, are you the boss? Have some solution. Don't just have a bunch of problems and just dump them on your boss's desk, or have your employees dump them on you. Say, hey, you know what? What's a better solution than doing that? You deal with this problem every day. And we have this problem going on right now at my work site. Everyone sees the problem. Everyone sees the problem, but they're tired. Everyone's tired. And they're like, oh, I just, you know what? I don't know. It's not even worth me. It's not even worth me really complaining about. Have you ever been to the point where you're just so tired and you see something, but you want to solve it, but you just can't solve it because you're just tired of seeing the same. And people complain to you about it, but nothing ever gets done. Then if you do say something, then you end up in trouble. They say, well, you just want to just complain. But then you want to give a solution, then you're like, well, they're not going to listen to me. So as you go out there this week, and as you go, you can complain, but make sure you have some options behind it. Make sure not just one. Have like 4 different ways to solve that problem. Don't just have one way. Have 4 different ways. It's not that difficult. It's really not that difficult, because if you have a problem, you're going to have a solution. And I can remember there's a lot of times there's this person, I was working on this problem, and he said, hey, what's wrong with you today? I said, oh, this such and such is not working today. I can't believe I was working on it yesterday at work. Today it's not working. He said, don't worry about it, champ. You'll get it fixed. You always have a solution. So even if you see someone out there and they have a problem and maybe you don't have the solution, give them some encouragement. Make them feel good about themselves. It doesn't have to be much to say, you know what? I know it's going to work out. I know you're going to have something for us to solve this problem. But you stay after it, because you always solve the other ones. and you'll solve this one. So as we go and as we go out there and you try to make things better, try to separate yourself from people who complain. Because that's, it's like you have a plate. You want to eat all the good food. You don't want to eat all the rotten food. And that's all complaining is, a bunch of rotten food that nobody wants to eat. You want to eat the good stuff. You want to eat you have a problem, you want to eat the solution too. You don't want to just sit around and eat a bunch of problems and have a bunch of problems sitting in front of you. You want to have the problem and you want to have the solution. So as we leave today and as we go out there, and as I said this over and over again, you got to stay on that positive side. And you got to realize there are going to be people that are going to pull you back on that, try to pull you on that negative side. And like I was telling them, go ahead, try. But I'm not going to go over there with you. I'm not going to camp out with you. You may pull me over there for a minute, but by the end of the day or 5 minutes later, I'll be back on the positive side because I'm built that. I'm not built to sit around and complain and whine and hopefully, no, that's not going to get you anywhere. So as you go out there and you finish out this week or you finish out today, hopefully this podcast has made a difference in your life. Hopefully, we've given you a few things. We want to thank you once again for communicating with us, sending us wonderful thoughts about the podcast. And as we continue to grow and get better and better, we want you to thank you again for spending some time with us each day. And we'll continue pushing and getting better, getting me better, getting you better. And that's all we can do is make each another, us, a little bit better down the road. Okay? Thanks again, and we'll see you down the road. Bye-bye.